Hello everybody, it's Rhonda here from Nelson Soapery. We are going to be doing our first Sunday chat in my beautiful pink room. So it does look very beautiful, and I know it's a different backdrop for everybody, but I thought, look, hopefully you like a different backdrop, and this is where we will be doing our Sunday chats from now on, which is every fortnight. I know we have dropped off a little bit just while I was building this building, but like I said, I'm sure that you won't mind actually, kind of being in here in this different backdrop. So now we're going to talk about scents today, because I haven't talked about that, and it is really important to make sure you're selling the right scent for your business. Hi Joy, how you going, darling? Welcome. So I do have my bit of paper, like always, that I have actually done a little bit of work in the background, just making sure, like I said, that I know what I'm talking about, and we can have a little bit of a chat about scents. Now, the first thing to think about when you're actually doing a scent, because like everybody, I'm sure you're probably all like I was, and you go into a shop, into a Supplier's, or you see it online, you order 30 different scents because you love them all, you can't choose, you're really excited about making candles or soap products, or whatever you're choosing. This doesn't just relate to candles, it might be soap or bath bombs or whatever. You choose all these different scents, and then before you know it, you have such a massive line of things. And it's okay to have lots of different scents, that's fine, but the problem is then you have to make 20 bath bombs in all different types, rather than just making one batch of lavender. Now you've got to make 15 or 20 different batches of all the different scents that you decided to offer. So that's what's really hard when we're talking about scents. So, and as you go along, I think you learn a lot more. I mean, I definitely did. And I think, you really do learn what is good for your business. So for instance, for me, I sell a lot of floral scents. That's just my customer base likes that. Whereas you may have somebody else that has a lot of customers that want fruity scents. So it is a part of your branding as well when we're talking about choosing scents and choosing what's right for your company. So like I said, we're going to talk about a few. So if we talk about floral for starters, if you're going to choose floral scent, so this may be anything from frangipani to rose to lavender, orchid. I mean, there's so many, but that's just to give you a bit of an idea. And of course, then you might mix a lavender with a peony or something like that, so you can mix them as well. So floral, usually if you have a business that's really kind of beauty, feminine kind of styled or branding like mine, you can see it's all pink. It is very feminine. So obviously I would be choosing more of a brand that suits kind of that brand. But then if you have a brand that's, maybe on the beach, along sort of California, or, along the Australian Bay, maybe you're going to choose more tropical, fruity kind of scents. That would, and it doesn't mean that you can't choose the other ones, but generally you're going to choose ones that suit your brand. So, and then of course, if you have more of a natural kind of company, maybe you want to use more essential oils. I personally never give advice on essential oils in candles. I advise not to use them. You have to do a lot of research. You can, of course, use them in soaps and many other different products, but I would just stay away from candles with that and try and use ones that are designed for candles, which are, from a regular supplier. Make sure you buy your scents from a registered supplier, no matter what country you're in. Because even though you might go to a department store or a discount store and they have them, it's not the same. They may only be 1% essential oils and could have chemicals, could react. So it's really important that you do actually buy them from a supplier. And if you can't afford a big bottle, just buy a really small one. I know it costs more at the start, but it will give you an idea, of what's going to work and what's not, and play around with it as well. Because at the start, I had ones that were like, I had one that was called Silverwood. In the soap, it sold fine, but in anything else, couldn't sell it in candle. And that was more like, very woody kind of sea salt and wood. Never sold it because it's not my brand. So that's what I mean. Sometimes you do need to drop certain ones. And you may find that if you have a company like for me, one of my biggest sellers are candles. I sell a huge amount of candles. Candles and soap, but soap is huge for me. So then I do have a lot more different scents in soap rather than, if I had a body butter, for instance, I might only do 6 in body butters because they're not a bigger seller as soap. So, and generally, to give you an idea, like even when we had the open day, yesterday was my open day here, people were buying 6, 10, 20 soaps, not they weren't buying one. So for me, you can tell when customers are buying it, what's my big brand and what's not. And like I said, essential oils, if you have that very natural vibe, then maybe you're going to make product soap and things like that with essential oils. If you're doing that, make sure you go back. There is a free calculation site. It's called EO Calc, and that means essential oils calc. So you can go onto that. You can pop in what you're going to do, and it will give you the right amounts. It will tell you if you can't use a certain amount or a certain essential oil in soap, because not all oils can be used at the same level. Some can't even be 0.25% because they're too strong. So you do need to check that out. So if you're going to use that, but that's a bit for you. And I do have some videos on how to actually use that in one of the soaping ones. So if you want to know more about it, in one of the soaping videos where I used essential oils, go back into that one. I did one on eucalyptus, and you'll be able to see that as well. And I'm sorry if I flick off messages, but it is my daughter's 18th birthday today. She's actually at work, and we've had her party yesterday, but I forgot lots of my other children saying happy birthday on one of the apps that we all use. Do I have any recommendations on creating an original name? No, the one thing I will say, Joy, is when I actually started using names, if you go into like trademark names, so for instance, if you type in Rose, and they'll be trademarked, and usually if it's trademarked, I don't use it. So that's just one free way that I found to try not to use a name that may be already trademarked. But that's a whole nother story, isn't it? It's crazy. Thank you, lovely. Thank you, Mary. She will think that is so lovely that you said happy birthday to her. She is in many of my videos. Her name is Pearl, and so it is, like I said, her 18th birthday. So, and she's off to uni. She's going to move out and live on campus to be a doctor in the new year. So that's very exciting. She's a very smart young lady. So. But anyway, now let's get back to our essential oils. So, and our scents that we're talking about. So now, like I said on the list, I've said that generally when you're starting, or even if you're not selling a lot, I would just only choose 6 to 8 scents. Some people start with 2. I don't think that's enough. Most people will really want a variety. So I'd say you at least have 4. And also maybe you might even do, for instance, you could get 3 different bottles. So say you have 3 different bottles of fragrances, maybe you could mix a couple, so then you can come out with 5 or 6 different scents. So for instance, if you had, say, blueberry, rose and pineapple, maybe you're going to mix a pineapple and blueberry to create another one, or mix a rose and blueberry, or pineapple and something else, and then you can come up with several other ones. It's kind of a way to make money as well. Yes, Pearl does Pearl doesn't do the etching. Pearl designs all of my drawings, so all my original drawings that are on my packaging now. She has actually designed everything, and I don't think you can see it if I whiz around. See the lady's head in the background? She actually designed that so that I own the rights to that lady's head. So yeah, so she designs all my packaging, and you may not notice, but every packaging has a heart in it. So even the leaves look like a heart shape in all of my new packaging. So yeah, so she's very clever. And that's another thing on branding, you just got to find a way to brand yourself a little bit different. And although the industry is very busy, you can still do it as well. Yes, she is very talented, lovely. Yes, she definitely is. So now, like I said, I'm going to tell you the ones that I found that have been super duper popular. Yes, lovely. I am in my shop. Thank you. I know. After this, I will do a quick whiz around for you so that you can see a little bit, because I don't open on Sundays and I don't open on Mondays. So just to close it. a little bit. And for anyone that wants to know, this is not a huge shop. You know, it's like, I think it's 2.8 meters across by 5 meters long. So it's not massive, but it's perfect for me. For a little soap and candle shop, it's just perfect. I don't make anything in here. I literally, like, I can pour things in here on the bench if I need to pour into bottles, but I still have my studio at the back where I actually make things. So, but anyway. Now, so the ones that sell really well, and look, this is just across the board, so it may not sell well for you if you have, you know, a different sort of business. And the first one, number one, we're going to start with one called Monkey Farts. Now, everyone's going to laugh at me here. I have never bought that scent. I will not buy it because of the name. The name, I can't do it. Yeah, no, it was really bad weather for me yesterday, lovely, but I had quite a few orders online, and quite a few, somebody's just asking how I went with the open, so yeah, no, it did really well, and I had a lot of online orders, and some people did show up, which was nice because the weather was blowing, an absolute gale, massive storm, and I haven't finished the front, but you're actually putting a beautiful pink awning up, and some beautiful work on the front, and maybe some draping flowers or something. I haven't decided, but it's still fine to come in. So inside's done, except for one little trim in the middle, so you can see the trim boards to the side. They're going to go in the middle of my design, but I'll show you, because you might not have seen in the photos, we have a massive bulkhead in pink as well that my husband designed, so we'll show you that after. But yeah, so Monkey Farts, I definitely cannot do that scent. The name, I just will not buy it. Tim from Pure Candle Supplies laughs at me when I say that to him, and I've told him that a few times. I said I just can't do the name. It just, I know you can change the name, but that puts me off buying it. So that is a pure good example, everyone, that not everyone thinks a crude or a rude word or a rude way of saying something is funny. Not everyone laughs at that. And I mean, I am 50, maybe I'm a bit old fashioned, but I just look at that and go, why would you call a scent that? Clearly monkey's farts do not smell like fruit, but you know, somebody thought it was clever, and maybe it is a clever wording because it catches you. But anyway, that's why I don't use that scent, but I do make my own tropical scent. But that is a very popular one for anyone wanting to know. Lavender is always popular. Personally, I don't like the standard English lavender, so the lavender I use, it's a lavender and ylang ylang, and I actually get that one from Pure Candles. And now one thing I'm going to tell you as well, every scent is different. So if you get a lavender from, for instance, Brambleberry, then you get a lavender from Pure Candles, then you get one from Aroma, all different suppliers, they will not smell the same because they often have their own dupe of the same name. So even if it says lavender, it's a different dupe, and it may be a different company that's creating that particular scent. So you have to really usually stick with one company and try and see that they haven't changed it. And sometimes that company may also change the supplier who's making that. So, you know, so never think that one lavender from one place is the same. It's definitely not. And I've had some lavenders that are really weak and they don't even smell good in a candle. And there's, you know, so for instance, everyone knows I do buy a lot of scents from Pure Candle Supplies. I also buy some from Luxury Candles and Aussie Candles. So they're the three that I mainly use in Australia. I have bought some Brambleberry ones as well because we do have a supplier in Australia. I can't think of her company, but I will try and think of it, and I will write all the suppliers lists down below after the video. After it loads, I'll put some links down for you as well. But yeah, so just do remember that. And with Pure Candles, to give you an idea, and a lot of companies do this, they have a base range, then they have your medium range, and then they have a luxury signature range. So generally I use the signature range. It's much more expensive. So for instance, you can get a bottle for $27 on the lower range, or you can pay $67 on the high range, and I pay the $67. It's much stronger and you need a lower percentage. So I know it sounds like a lot of money, paying that big money, but I promise you, you'll get a better scent. You know, definitely better. And the same as luxury candles, there's a few that I really do like from them that I've tried. Some are weaker than others, and that's nothing to do with that company. It's just that's what the fragrance is. You know, it's probably meant to be more mild. So don't ever kind of think, oh, well, that company's got a, you know, their scent isn't strong. It's usually not that. It's just that it's meant to be that. Not everyone wants a super strong scent. So you have to try lots out. And believe me, I've tried hundreds. I've tried them all. And I say this all the time. I have definitely spent well over $100,000 on materials over the years that I've done this. And, you know, it's an expensive hobby or business, but once you get going and you get customers, then it can be your full-time job. And this is my full-time job. I do earn a full-time wage out of this. So you can actually do that. But anyway, getting on to number 3. So tropical fruits, always popular. Not many places will tell you it's not, you know, especially things like ones that have strawberry, melons, watermelons, pineapple, a bit of frangipani. They're always super duper popular. Strawberries and champagne, I think when I was doing markets, I used to get asked for that every single week without fail. And I stopped making it because I thought it was very generic and everyone had it. But honestly, I always got asked for a strawberry champagne because it's strong and it's sweet and it's just a really lovely scent. So, and I used to have a man every Christmas that would come back, and he would always, and I think it was the last Christmas, I didn't actually have any, and he was so disappointed. And I said, I can send it to you. And he said, no, I only like to look at it and take it on my way. So some people do that. They just want to take it and go. And now lemongrass, always popular, doesn't matter where you are. I use the one personally from Pure Candles. It's very, very strong, and that's what I like. And I only need to use 8% in my candles with, you know, the lemongrass. It's very, very strong. And you do have to check, because not all fragrances can be used for soap related products. So if you've got soap related, do remember they can't all be used for that. Sometimes they're not appropriate, or they just may not be allowed to be used. They might not be good for the skin. So just do look at that. And most sites will tell you soap, yes or no, and candles, yes or no. Black raspberry, I mean, we all know that is massively huge. I've always done well with black raspberry. I usually mix, a good mix actually is black raspberry and rose. That is super popular. A lot of people do love it because it has a bit of the fruity rose and the fruity raspberry with that beautiful floral of the rose. So that's a very popular one. If you're thinking of mixing something, you can try on that. Vanilla, everyone knows vanilla is popular. I usually do a vanilla with a little bit of amber in, because that's quite nice, and then it's not just a plain vanilla. And of course, last on my list is definitely watermelon. Watermelon would probably be my biggest seller in candles, except for my own signature scent, which is called Barry's Daughter, which is, as everyone knows, is one my dad and I designed together before he passed away. And that's, for me, honestly, that's pretty much always the scent that everyone wants. Now, if we're talking essential oils in soap, definitely I'd say lemongrass, lavender, and sandalwood. They are the 3 that always, I get asked from people to make soap in those. So, and I am going to bring out an essential oil soap. I will tell you, when you're making essential oils and soap, one thing that I have noticed is it does get a lot of like soda ash on the top, which is a white sort of frosting look. Doesn't affect the soap, but I have noticed with essential oils in particular, because they heat up more, you get more of that, but you can steam it off and it will be fine. So, like I said, these are just a few ideas of the scents. So I hope that just, you know, me kind of telling you about some different scents, I hope that does kind of help you, you know, a little bit in your journey, just to kind of, you know, understand some scents and what you could maybe use. You can learn to mix them as well. Obviously, you need to check that they are safe to mix, and candles and things like that. You can talk to suppliers about possibility. And if you're ordering in bulk, if you order in big amounts, a lot of suppliers, you can tell them what you want and they will actually get one made up for you. And then you can own the rights to that. So You can always ask them that. When I wanted a licorice, I asked Pure Candles and they bought in a licorice. Now they sell the licorice and it's very popular, and I do a licorice rose, and that is super popular in soap in particular. A lot of people like that one. So and a lot of my wholesale people, they love licorice. They often ask for that. So anyway, I'll go around for a little tour. Hopefully I don't cut you off. I'm not going to spin it around, because if I do, then I'll cut the whole thing off. So I'm sitting at the desk, and this door, if you can see this door behind me, that's where I come in from my backyard. So if ever there was something like a fire, there is 2 entrances and exits. That's the big reason why we did this one. And then of course, my husband made this. Now, I'm going to tell all of you, there are some things that because it costs a lot of money to do this, even though I had family helping me. This was actually a Kmart hack that I did. I got it from Kmart. I repainted it, repurposed it, and anyway, so that's what that is. So you have to be a little bit clever. I did make this sign myself. I got it cut, and then I used the Cricut machine to do all of this. So, sometimes you got to be a bit of a cheapskate, my friends. So now we'll go to this bit. So hopefully you can kind of see, because it's a bit hard. I haven't filled the top and the bottom, and if you have a look, if you can see that is actually, it's got bulkhead. My husband made a beautiful bulkhead, and I've used 3 different pink colors in here just to make it beautiful. So we will go and have a weenie look. So this is basically all the products. These are my new hand washers. Don't they look cute? I love them. And this is my new packaging going forward. It's going to be this kind of pinky kind of color. And if I spin around, you'll be able to see the door. Can you see the hole on the door, everyone? How sad. My husband dropped it as he was putting the door handle in, or just before the door handle actually. So I was like, oh no. But anyway, it's going to have a big sign on it, so it won't matter. But that's on the inside, not the outside. So that was a little bit tragical. And then of course I do have, if we come over here so you can see the shelves, I have a couple here, and then a spinny rack. So this spinny rack is good if you're going to do key rings, earrings, and then I have a spinny rack over here, so I'll show you. These spinny racks are like $50 on eBay. I think they're called sock spinners, if I'm right. Yeah, the pink is on brand, lovely for me. You are definitely right. It's all my go. I've had to put stickers on these because I didn't have time, but I will actually use the Cricut machine because my daughter designed me those hearts, my daughter Emily, that has a beanbox machine. So she's done lots of cutting. She also made the sign for the front door, but that hasn't gone on yet, and I will do a proper video of how we did this whole thing. And so you can see here, these are all my car diffusers, so they hang on the spinny as well, and then when people come in they can just spin it. So if you have something that has limited space, it's kind of a little bit handy. Like I said, I will do a proper video, and then if you're coming in the front door, this is kind of what you're going to see. And look, I'm going to tell you this, this counter was not properly made. This was made by us. So this counter is actually what you call a chopping block. So it's 2 chopping blocks joined together. And then I said to my husband, this is what I want. I drew up the design of what I wanted. And then he designed the trim for me and put all the trim. And the trim is actually skirting. So, yeah, so each chopping block, which was a whole unit thing, that was like, I've got to think how much it was. I think $55 each. If I'm right, I think that's what it was. And then I painted the top white, and then of course I painted the bottom pink. The bottom is actually the leftover yellow tongue that we had from the floor. We've nailed it into the old rack. So we really have found so many cheap alternatives on how to actually make things. Even the if you can, I'll see what I can actually see to show you. If you see even the signs here, I actually made these. I just designed them on Canva, printed them out on paper, and then put them in these A5 signs so that they looked beautiful. Oh, thank you, Joy. Yeah, and that's what I was going for, just a high-end kind of beautiful pink look. And I've been asked quite a lot from wholesalers if I could have something they could come and have a look at too before they buy in bulk. So hopefully they can have a look. And look, it's not a full shop on a shopping strip or anything like this. This is actually a single car garage on my property. And also, you do have to check with your council and things now. And we did a lot of research of what we could do. We can do this because we are actually on the main strip. So about sort of 5 or 6 minutes from me is the main shopping strip. The whole bottom of the street is the shopping strip. I'm not on that street, I'm further back, like on the same street, sorry, but not close to that. And then behind me, they've converted a number of houses on my street as well into doctors' surgeries and things like that. So there was already a precedent set for converting things into shops. So that's why I was lucky enough to be able to do something like this. But if you're in a quiet little court, I don't think you'd be allowed to do what I've done. And also, one thing that I understand, when you're doing something on a property or something, you are meant to make everything. So I can't just buy towels from a wholesale company and sell them, because it means I didn't make them. So this is meant to be things I personally make. Even the milk things there, I can buy them, but I still had to make them by putting the decals on them and things like that. So you have to make things. But I mean, check your council. Every country, every state, every city is totally different. And our council, for those of you in the US that may not know what that means, it's just our local government body who will give you a permit to do something or not. But you actually don't need a permit to what I've actually done here, because because we also have a driveway that allows for 5 cars. So there is like parking, even though we tell everyone park on the street, because otherwise you're too close to the shop. I mean, and there's street parking on both sides. So anyway, that's just a little bit about that. Look, I'm going to tell you this. You know what's funny is one of the most expensive things I actually bought? These flowers. I mean, these flowers and the vase ended up costing almost $200. That was probably one of the most expensive things. Even these racks, they're IKEA racks that we converted. So they're not, like they're not super fancy. So if I go, that's kind of a better look, if you can kind of see. And you can see it's not super big, but as you can and this wall here, I don't know what to do with yet. I was going to put a mirror on, and I was going to put a third cabinet, but I thought it looked too busy, so I took it out and just left the spinny rack in here. So I don't know whether I'm going to have pictures of me making soap or whether I'm going to have a huge mirror. I really don't know, but that's okay. That's going to be for later. But I do have a video that's about an hour long, so that will be coming soon. Did I have to secure the racks to the wall? No, I didn't have to. You can if you want, but this bulkhead holds it all in place. The bulk, and what happened is this bulkhead and these racks, what actually happens is it's basically the friction of it is so tight into the roof, it can't move. So my husband had to literally get hammers and nail this bulkhead, or not even nail it, it's just like the friction of it is pushed into the roof, if that makes sense. So nothing happens. Even if I shake it, it doesn't move at all. So no, we didn't put it into the wall. As my husband said, you just can't kind of do it with the way that was. And then of course I do have these other pink racks, and then the lines, and they're going to go in the middle here, so this will have pink all the way down. But we have been working to 12 almost every night, and then back up at 6 to get this ready on time. So, and it was just because I didn't want to delay the opening again, even though, look, this is on my property. I mean, I may not get anybody in here all week. I mean, I may. To be honest, this was more for me than for the public, because I did say to my husband, I'm in my 50s and this is what I'm going to do to the end of my life. I have no interest in working for a fat cat boss. I really don't like working for other companies. I just really hate the environment, and I'm a very gentle person, and I really just can't stand being told off or intimidated. So I just said, no, I can't do it. And as my husband said, it doesn't matter if I earn money or not, if this is what I love. But, you know, obviously, and I talk about this a lot, I do have other revenues of making money. So, yeah. Yeah, I did well getting it open. Thank you, darling. Thank you. Yeah, and I had a lot of people helping. My father-in-law was amazing because, you know, my dad's no longer here. He did help quite a lot as well. Did I get... the logo on my jars? I actually got that from a company called... what's it called? Lee Molds in Australia. I know there's one in Canada called Canadian Molds as well. That one's very popular. One of my lovely, you know, internet friends, she actually does use her company's Coconut Coast. So if you want to see what the Canadian brands look like, just look at her website and you'll actually see, because she got them. But I use a company in Australia called Lee Molds. Yeah, they did that, and they are actually very generous. So they've given me a voucher for $200, which I'll give away at the conference in March. So that's nice too. They are helping that as well as a melter actually, which is really nice. So I've had lots of companies be really nice. And this is what I'm saying, everyone. Like today we're talking about scents, but you know, it's all a part of your business. So I know you think, oh, well, it's just scents, but this will really define a bit of your branding as well by choosing the scent, choosing colors and things like that. Oh, how did I make my logo black? Oh, sorry, darling. No, that is actually a clear sticker. So yeah, that's a clear sticker on those ones, and they're just my sale ones. I don't make them like that anymore. That's how I used to make them before I had the new special molds. Yeah, so it's just, yeah, so you can buy the clear vinyl. That's how I did it. And you print it in your normal printer and then just stick it on there. So, and I sort of cut it out into an oval shape, but, you know, you can't see that because it's behind there. You do have to do a bit of testing because some of the clear ones, they bubble and fall off with the heat of it as well. But yeah, that's actually a really clever idea if you can't afford to get like candle jars made, or you don't want to get candle jars made. It's a really good idea as well. Oh, that's okay, Joy. No worries. I do hope that it is inspirational, and I hope it doesn't come across as a bit of a big noter, because I really, you know, it's not for that at all. It's just trying. I just hope that showing all of you, you know, maybe you could do this, maybe you have an old space, and you will see when I bring out this video how old and disgusting this room was. It was really old. This building is like 75 years old, my house. And basically, we've only had it for 6 years. So you've had all these different generations through it. That they'd spray painted because this was a shed. They'd spray painted some bits, cut holes in here. I mean, you had bits of red paint here, blue paint, black. It was just gross. And when my husband said, oh, maybe we could make this into a shop, I'm like, really? I looked at it and said, this is a dump. You know, but he said, he goes, you're a designer, just try and visualize it. And then I came up with a bit of a plan and a bit of a brief on what I could do. And luckily my husband checked with me with absolutely everything, because I was very determined. But yes, that's right. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be adding more things, Samantha Lovely. Like I said, I'm not sure whether I'm going to add some pictures of me making soap, or whether it's going to be a mirror. I think maybe a mirror, because like, you know, I do have flyers and things like that of me doing things, so I'm just not sure. Yeah, no, he is, Joy. He's a good husband. He really has done an amazing job. He really has, because, you know, I was determined. A couple of things he said, oh, well, we can do that. I said, nope, it will be ugly. I don't want it. I want to trim. I was very, you know, forceful on what I wanted, because as you all know, I'm known for pink, and I really wanted that beautiful pink, store. I did think of draping flowers around, but then I thought, look, it's just going to be too messy. I'll just keep it neat, and because I do love the whole flower draping thing. But anyway, I thought, look, you know, and the outside we are going to do it this beautiful pink, and with some trims, and it will actually have a window cut. So where I showed you where the I'll go back and show you. we just didn't have time to cut it, and because of supply and demand in Australia, we actually can't get the window at the moment. We have to wait for it to be made. It won't come till I think March. So where this is here, this will be a window here, so it won't just be a building with no window. But as I said, we had to just finish it, and then we'll just cut through that, and then that will cut through to the outside, and then the outside's going to have a really lovely trim, a little tiny decking as well, which will be nice. Yeah, the desk turned out beautiful, lovely. That's what I was saying before. So if I show you, I'm sorry about my towel in the corner, but that's just because it's been raining. I didn't want water on the floor. And my husband laid these floors as well. He did. It took, honestly, 4 hours one night and 4 hours the next, 8 hours, because he was so meticulous on having every single thing cut perfect, because he knew I wouldn't be happy about it. And he's putting a grip step on the outside, which is just like a little L plate, so that if anyone comes in and it's wet, they won't slip or anything. Yeah, the floors are beautiful. They're a light wood whitewash, and they're just like a vinyl. You know, it's like a vinyl floorboard pieces, and got to put them all together. So. But I do have some videos, like I said, I've linked them all together. It'll be well over an hour of watching for that one there, so I hope it does help. Yeah, that's fine, Jacqueline. Yeah, I really do. I do hope it's inspirational, and maybe it can give everyone, you know, an idea. Even if you've got a spare room in your house, a little shed in the yard, like I said, a single car garage, something like I had. Maybe, you know, that can give you inspiration, because we all know the shops are so expensive to rent a shop. And the town I live in, I'm going to tell you, I actually looked at a couple and they wouldn't let me paint it pink for starters. They said no, I couldn't. I had to keep it all white, so I couldn't have the color. So to me that was useless, because I knew what I wanted. So that was one thing. They wouldn't let me do it. There was none to even buy, even though we couldn't afford to buy it, but I looked into that. So yeah, it was just one of those amazing kind of things that we just said, well, we have to do it here. That's all we can do. And in the town I'm in, because during COVID, everyone came to our town, and now all of the big companies, you know, the multi-million-dollar companies, they're all here. They've all rented all the shops out, and well, not all, but a lot of little people have left. So literally that's what happened. So we just didn't have options. And so then anyway, and like I said, you know, we don't expect here to, it's not like a shopping strip where you're going to have hundreds of people through the door. But it is a place, if somebody doesn't want to buy online, then they can come and at least have a look and smell it. And during the open day, we had people that said, oh, you know, they'd never even seen a shower steamer. So not everyone understands products. Like we do. I've had lots of people that said they actually didn't understand not just a steamer, but you know, they didn't understand what a shampoo bar was. They'd never seen one or used one. So it's a good place to even educate people on what you can actually do. So and then we did these. I'll show you. So these are like little liquid soaps, so then they could take a little sample home. So I'll have those until they're all gone, and some body butters and things like that, some like little soaps that were in those, and they just sort of got, you know, things on the back, all the instructions. But yeah, so anyway, but it's a starter. I am actually going to be bringing out some more whip soap. I've sold out a while ago and haven't had time to do it, but yeah, I will be bringing out some videos and some whip soap, some scrubs, and so on. But we'll see. So I'm actually, this week, hopefully I will get to be able to make some beautiful pumpable, not soaps, what am I going to be making? Some lotions, some, you know, pumpable lotions. So yeah, so I will actually be showing that in one of the videos. And like I said, hopefully I can get everything together and bring it out in a video for you all really soon. Anyway, I've taken up enough of your Sunday. I hope you enjoyed talking about scents and having a quick little tour. Of course, I would give a better tour when it's all totally finished, but at this stage, it's going to be a little while, isn't it? So, but anyway, like I said, I hope you've enjoyed, and I will see you on the next video. Bye, friends.